Hey everybody, this is Dylan. I told you in some past videos some of the freeze drying stuff that I'm working on. I'm trying to use this machine a lot more. If you remember, I got it originally because I liked making my own backpacking food that is healthy. I know everything that's in it. And I've also been thinking of using the same product, just not for only backpacking, but also for the times when you don't have food prepped, you're in a hurry, maybe you're traveling and you want to take healthy food with you, so you've always got options. So I've been working on that. I'm going to talk more about that later in the video. Also, I got this chamber vacuum sealer over here that allows me to take my regular Mylar bag of freeze-dried food, suck all the air out of it, and make a product that takes up even less space in my pack when I'm backpacking, or suitcase if you're traveling, or whatever it may be. So I'll talk about that, but first I want to talk a little bit about this new pump that I got for my freeze dryer. So here is the scoop. This is a brand new pump that Harvest Right put out. I've had it for, I don't know, a month or so. And for those of you that are familiar with the freeze dryer, it comes with an oil pump, a pump that requires an oil change after every single load. You have to filter the oil, add it back into the machine. Every several batches, you've got to open the pump up and clean it out, which is really not that fun. And so they came out with this oilless pump, which admittedly costs more money, kind of a lot more money, but it takes out the oil and thus most all of the maintenance. I think every couple of years, if I run this thing really steady, I'll have to change the seals and the bearings in this pump, but that is a piece of cake compared to all of the work that you have to do with the oil pump. So big benefit is that there's virtually no maintenance to do with this pump. Second, it uses way less power, so as I get a much more efficient load each time I'm running the freeze dryer, I'm using less energy. In my case, that's solar power. Now I can use that power for something else. It's a lot quieter also, like a lot quieter. I can barely hear it upstairs. Remember, I'm down in the basement of my house, and I don't want to be hearing this thing running all the time. So now I don't really hear it at all, which is totally awesome. And finally, the pump itself actually works way better. It pulls a vacuum in the chamber much faster, which cuts a few hours off of the total dry time, total freeze dry time. And so it's a lot more efficient in that sense as well. I think the pump is costing like $1,500 or $1,600. If you get it with your new freeze dryer, you save like $300, I think, because you're not going to get the original pump that would have come with your freeze dryer. So it's an upgrade rather than an extra. And so it does cost more money, but in my opinion, if you're running this machine all the time, it is well worth getting rid of the maintenance hassle. So that is the scoop on the pump. There's a link in the description of this video to check it out on the website. I love freeze drying so much more now that I don't have to mess with all that oil. This freeze dryer, I don't have to do anything now. It's just a standalone process that does not require me to do a bunch of hassle, maintenance, anything. So I do highly recommend the pump. Check it out. All right, on to what I've been doing with freeze drying. Alright y'all, so here's what I've been doing with the freeze-dried meal prep type of thing. I wanted to take one recipe that I really like and freeze dry it so that it's really high quality and really tasty. I chose to do Kathy Fisher's Kitchery. Big surprise, that's one of my favorite recipes, I get it. But what I was doing before is I'd cook up the whole recipe and then I'd freeze dry the whole thing. But I thought there's got to be a more efficient way of doing this, and so I think there is, and that is that I've taken all of the ingredients from the recipe and I've freeze dried them separately. So then when I go to build the recipe back up, I'll take all of the freeze-dried ingredients, put them together, and then I'll have a freeze-dried meal that I think will be a lot better. And the reason it's faster is because you're able to just mass prep one ingredient, in this case, rice. So I just took a whole load of cooked rice that I freeze-dried out, and I've bagged it into these plastic bags, sucked out the air so that it's stable and everything, and it's not going to pull any moisture out of the air. And once I have all of the ingredients freeze-dried, I still have a lot more ingredients to do. I'll start exploring and experimenting with recombining the ingredients in the right amounts, the spices, all the flavors together, so that you just add water and you're ready to go. So that's what I've been toying around with. So I just took out a load of rice. I also had done a load of rice with the red lentils. If you know this recipe, it's got rice, red lentils, it's got sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, celery, onions. So my next load that I'm going to freeze dry is going to be just celery that I've sauteed. Let me show you that. So here is a whole tray of ready to go celery that I've pre-frozen, but I haven't freeze dried it yet. So this is just a heavy brick of sauteed celery that is going to be ready to freeze dry. So then I'll have celery, I'll do it with all of the ingredients and put it together. I think it's going to be really good. So that's what I've got going on. I'm just in the early stages of trying to design one recipe for the freeze dryer. You see here I've got the lentils and rice. I've got some rice that I cooked to do two different consistencies. This one I overcooked to make it a little mushier, to give it more of a thick texture. And this rice is more regular done rice. So I want to see how that affects the recipe. So I'm going to do a whole bunch of experiments, and I've got lots of bulk product now ready for me to do that. So we'll see what happens. Maybe there'll be something for you to get your hands on soon to test out and tell me if it's worth a damn. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I'm doing with the freeze dryer right now. I hope that was interesting, and let me know what other questions you might have about it. Otherwise, we'll see you in the Facebook group, Well Your World.